In the pre-dawn darkness of New Caledonia's pristine lagoons, where crystal-clear waters stretch endlessly under a canopy of Southern Hemisphere stars, the most exclusive shrimp operation on Earth begins another day of harvesting what many consider the world's finest crustaceans. Welcome to the secretive world of blue pearl shrimp, where a single pound of these extraordinary creatures can sell for over $300 in Tokyo's most prestigious restaurants, and where an exclusive supply chain delivers exactly 2 million premium shrimp every month to a carefully selected group of Michelin-starred establishments that have built their reputations on serving only the most exceptional ingredients available anywhere on the planet. The Blue Pearl Shrimp operation represents the pinnacle of aquaculture excellence, utilizing techniques and standards that make conventional shrimp farming look primitive by comparison. These are not the mass-produced frozen shrimp found in grocery stores around the world, but rather living jewels of the sea that are harvested individually by hand, processed within minutes of capture, and transported under conditions more carefully controlled than those used for transporting human organs for medical transplants. Each shrimp in this exclusive supply chain is traceable to the exact pond, exact day, and even the specific harvester who selected it from thousands of candidates based on size, color, texture, and the indefinable quality that separates true luxury ingredients from merely expensive ones. The journey of these extraordinary shrimp begins in the remote lagoons of New Caledonia, a French territory located in the South Pacific where pristine water conditions and isolation from industrial pollution create the perfect environment for raising crustaceans that meet the impossibly high standards demanded by Japan's most discriminating chefs. The water in these lagoons maintains a perfect temperature range year-round, contains the optimal mineral content for shrimp development, and flows with currents that provide constant oxygenation without creating stress conditions that can affect the taste and texture of the final product. Dr. Jean-Pierre Dubois, the marine biologist who developed the Blue Pearl shrimp cultivation system over 15 years of research and experimentation, explains that creating shrimp worthy of Michelin-starred restaurants requires understanding every aspect of crustacean biology, from the microscopic algae they consume to the precise water chemistry that promotes optimal growth rates while maintaining the delicate sweetness and firm texture that distinguishes premium shrimp from ordinary, commercial varieties. His operation controls every variable in the shrimp's environment, from the pH levels of the water to the timing of feeding cycles that ensure each shrimp develops the characteristics demanded by the world's most demanding culinary professionals. The breeding stock for blue pearl shrimp comes from wild specimens selected through a process that would seem obsessive to most people but represents standard procedure in the world of luxury food production. Marine biologists spend months identifying individual wild shrimp that display the genetic characteristics associated with superior taste, texture, and appearance, then carefully transport these specimens to controlled breeding facilities where they are paired based on genetic analysis that rivals the breeding programs used for thoroughbred racehorses or championship livestock. The ponds where blue pearl shrimp spend their lives represent marvels of engineering and biological design, with each pond containing exactly the right combination of natural and artificial elements to create conditions that promote optimal shrimp development. The bottom of each pond is covered with carefully selected sand and coral fragments that provide the perfect substrate for shrimp to exhibit natural behaviors while maintaining water quality through biological filtration systems that function without chemicals or additives that might affect taste. Water quality monitoring in the Blue Pearl operation occurs continuously through automated systems that track dozens of variables including temperature, salinity, oxygen levels, pH, and the presence of microscopic organisms that serve as natural food sources for developing shrimp. Any deviation from optimal parameters triggers immediate responses from technicians who can adjust conditions within minutes to maintain the perfect environment required for producing shrimp that meet the exacting standards of their exclusive clientele. The feeding program for blue pearl shrimp involves a carefully choreographed schedule of natural and specially prepared foods designed to promote optimal growth while developing the complex flavors and firm texture that distinguish these crustaceans from mass-produced alternatives. Wild-caught plankton, specially cultivated algae, and custom-blended supplements are provided in precise quantities based on the age, size, and development stage of the shrimp in each pond, with feeding schedules adjusted seasonally to account for natural biological rhythms that affect growth and flavor development. Harvesting blue pearl shrimp requires skills and techniques that have been developed specifically for this operation, with workers trained to identify shrimp that have reached perfect maturity based on visual cues, behavioral patterns, and physical characteristics that indicate optimal eating quality. Unlike commercial shrimp operations that harvest entire ponds at once, blue pearl workers wade through the ponds daily, selecting individual shrimp that meet their strict criteria while leaving others to continue developing until they reach perfect condition. The selection process for harvest-ready shrimp involves criteria that would be incomprehensible to conventional shrimp farmers but make perfect sense to suppliers serving Michelin-starred restaurants where every ingredient must be absolutely perfect. Workers examine each potential candidate for uniform coloration, proper shell texture, active movement patterns, and the overall appearance that indicates a shrimp at the peak of its development cycle, rejecting thousands of specimens that would be considered perfectly acceptable by normal commercial standards. Once selected for harvest, each blue pearl shrimp begins a journey through a processing and transportation system designed to preserve every aspect of its quality from the moment of capture through delivery to restaurant kitchens in Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto, where the world's most demanding chefs await ingredients that will become components of meals costing hundreds of dollars per person. The processing facility operates according to standards that exceed those required for medical equipment sterilization, with every surface, tool, and container sanitized using techniques developed specifically for handling the world's most expensive seafood. The initial processing of blue pearl shrimp occurs within a climate-controlled facility where temperature, humidity, and air quality are maintained at levels that preserve the delicate cellular structure responsible for the superior texture and flavor that justifies the extraordinary prices these crustaceans command in international markets. Workers wear specialized protective equipment not to protect themselves from the shrimp, but to protect the shrimp from any contamination that might compromise their quality during the critical first hours after harvest when cellular changes can affect the final eating experience. Quality control inspections during processing involve techniques borrowed from gemstone evaluation, with trained inspectors examining each shrimp under specialized lighting that reveals subtle variations in color, texture, and overall condition that determine whether individual specimens meet the standards required for shipment to Michelin-starred restaurants. Shrimp that fail these inspections are diverted to secondary markets where they still command premium prices but do not meet the absolute perfection required by the operation's primary clientele. The packaging system for blue pearl shrimp represents a technological marvel that ensures each crustacean arrives at its destination in exactly the same condition as when it was harvested from the pristine lagoons of New Caledonia. Individual shrimp are placed in custom-designed containers that maintain precise temperature control, optimal humidity levels, and atmospheric conditions that prevent any degradation during the 36-hour journey from harvest to delivery at restaurant kitchens in Japan's most exclusive culinary establishments. Each container in the Blue Pearl shipping system is equipped with its own miniature life support system, including temperature monitoring devices, humidity controllers, and atmospheric processors that maintain conditions identical to those in the original lagoon environment. These containers are manufactured specifically for this operation using materials that do not interact with the shrimp or affect their flavor in any way, with each container used only once before being disposed of according to environmental protocols that maintain the operation's commitment to sustainability. The logistics coordinator for Blue Pearl Shrimp, Marie Tanaka, explains that delivering 2 million shrimp monthly to Japanese restaurants requires coordination that rivals military operations in its precision and attention to detail. Every aspect of the journey from New Caledonia to Japan is planned and monitored in real time, with backup systems in place for every possible contingency that might threaten the quality of the shipment or delay delivery beyond the narrow time windows required by restaurant chefs who build their daily menus around the guaranteed arrival of these premium ingredients. The transportation route begins with specially modified aircraft that maintain cargo holds at exactly the temperature and humidity levels required to preserve shrimp quality during the 8-hour flight from New Caledonia to Tokyo's Narita International Airport. These aircraft are equipped with redundant environmental control systems and emergency backup power supplies that ensure consistent conditions throughout the flight, regardless of weather conditions or mechanical issues that might affect normal passenger aircraft. Upon arrival in Japan, Blue Pearl shrimp shipments receive priority handling through customs and immigration procedures that have been streamlined through agreements with Japanese authorities who recognize the economic and cultural importance of maintaining the quality of ingredients destined for the country's most prestigious restaurants. Customs officials trained specifically in seafood inspection examine each shipment using techniques developed in collaboration with the Blue Pearl operation to minimize handling time while ensuring compliance with all regulatory requirements. The ground transportation network that delivers Blue Pearl shrimp from Narita Airport to individual restaurants throughout Japan operates according to schedules that are coordinated down to the minute. With specialized refrigerated vehicles equipped with GPS tracking systems that provide real-time location updates to both the shipping coordinator and the restaurant chefs who are planning their daily preparations around the arrival of these premium ingredients. Each vehicle is staffed by drivers trained in handling luxury seafood and equipped with emergency protocols for dealing with any situation that might threaten shipment quality. Restaurant deliveries occur during precisely scheduled time windows that allow chefs to inspect each shipment immediately upon arrival and begin preparation procedures that will transform these living jewels of the sea into culinary masterpieces worthy of the world's most demanding diners. The delivery process includes detailed documentation that traces each individual shrimp back to its original pond in New Caledonia, providing chefs with information about harvest date, processing conditions, and transportation history that allows them to optimize their preparation techniques for maximum flavor and presentation impact. The relationship between Blue Pearl Shrimp and its exclusive clientele of Michelin-starred restaurants represents a partnership that goes far beyond simple supplier and customer interactions, with the operations staff working closely with individual chefs to understand their specific requirements and preferences for different preparations, seasonal variations, and special menu presentations that showcase the unique characteristics of these extraordinary crustaceans. Chef Takashi Yamamoto of Tokyo's 3 Michelin-starred restaurant Kaiseki Zen explains that Blue Pearl Shrimp represents the gold standard for premium crustaceans, with flavor profiles and textural characteristics that allow him to create dishes impossible to replicate using any other ingredient available anywhere in the world. The consistent quality and reliability of Blue Pearl deliveries allows him to plan elaborate tasting menus months in advance, knowing that these crucial ingredients will arrive exactly as expected and perform perfectly in preparations that require absolute precision. The preparation techniques used by Michelin-starred chefs for Blue Pearl Shrimp often involve methods developed specifically for these premium crustaceans, taking advantage of their superior texture and flavor to create presentations that would be impossible using conventional shrimp. Some preparations involve minimal cooking to preserve the natural sweetness and delicate texture, while others use elaborate techniques that enhance specific characteristics unique to Blue Pearl specimens. The economic impact of the Blue Pearl Shrimp operation extends far beyond the immediate value of the crustaceans themselves, supporting an entire ecosystem of supporting businesses including specialized transportation companies, custom packaging manufacturers, and logistics coordinators who have developed expertise specifically for handling ultra-premium seafood products. The operation also supports research and development activities that advance the science of aquaculture and contribute to broader understanding of marine biology and sustainable food production. Quality assurance protocols throughout the Blue Pearl supply chain involve testing and monitoring procedures that exceed those required by any government agency, with the operation maintaining its own standards that are more stringent than international regulations for seafood safety and quality. These self-imposed standards reflect the understanding that serving Michelin-starred restaurants requires perfection that cannot be achieved through compliance with minimum regulatory requirements. The training program for Blue Pearl staff includes instruction in marine biology, food safety, quality control, and customer service techniques specifically designed for serving the world's most demanding culinary professionals. Workers at every level of the operation understand that their individual performance directly affects the reputation of restaurants that have invested decades in building their culinary reputations and cannot afford to serve anything less than perfect ingredients. If you're fascinated by the incredible precision and dedication required to deliver the world's finest seafood to the most demanding restaurants on Earth, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to never miss our exclusive behind-the-scenes looks at the food industry's most remarkable operations. We bring you inside stories that reveal the extraordinary efforts required to create truly exceptional dining experiences. Environmental sustainability represents a core value of the Blue Pearl operation, with every aspect of production designed to minimize ecological impact while maintaining the pristine conditions required for producing world-class shrimp. The operation participates in marine conservation programs, supports research into sustainable aquaculture techniques, and maintains water quality standards that actually improve the local marine environment rather than degrading it. The scientific research that supports Blue Pearl shrimp production involves collaboration with marine biology institutes around the world, generating knowledge that advances the entire field of sustainable aquaculture while solving practical problems related to producing premium seafood under controlled conditions. This research has contributed to breakthroughs in understanding crustacean nutrition, water chemistry management, and breeding techniques that have applications far beyond luxury food production. Dr. Du Bois's research team continuously monitors not only the shrimp themselves but also every aspect of their environment, collecting data that helps optimize production while identifying potential improvements to quality, sustainability, and efficiency. This research has led to innovations in pond design, feeding systems, and harvesting techniques that maintain the operation's position at the forefront of aquaculture technology while preserving the artisanal quality that distinguishes blue pearl products from mass-produced alternatives. The breeding program for blue pearl shrimp involves genetic analysis that would be sophisticated by the standards of any agricultural operation, with researchers tracking lineages through multiple generations to identify the combinations of traits that produce shrimp with optimal characteristics for fine dining applications. This program has developed proprietary strains of shrimp that exist nowhere else in the world and represent years of selective breeding based on criteria that prioritize culinary excellence over simple production efficiency. Water management systems at the Blue Pearl facility represent engineering marvels that maintain perfect conditions through a combination of natural processes and technological innovation, creating ecosystems that support not only the shrimp themselves but also the complex web of microorganisms, plants, and other marine life that contribute to water quality and provide natural food sources that enhance shrimp flavor and nutrition. The facility's filtration systems use a combination of biological, mechanical, and chemical processes to maintain water quality that exceeds natural ocean conditions in its purity and stability, while preserving the mineral content and biological activity that provide optimal growing conditions for premium shrimp. These systems operate continuously with redundant backups that ensure perfect conditions regardless of weather, equipment failures, or other factors that might affect water quality. Temperature control throughout the Blue Pearl facility involves precision heating and cooling systems that maintain water temperatures within fractions of a degree of optimal levels, with monitoring systems that can detect and correct temperature variations before they affect shrimp development. The energy required for this level of climate control represents a significant operational expense, but the premium prices commanded by Blue Pearl products justify investments in equipment and technology that would be economically impossible for conventional shrimp operations. The feeding program for Blue Pearl shrimp involves not only providing optimal nutrition, but also timing feeding cycles to promote natural behaviors and development patterns that enhance the characteristics valued by fine dining chefs. Shrimp are fed multiple times daily according to schedules that vary based on their age, size, and development stage, with quantities calculated to promote optimal growth without creating waste products that might affect water quality. Specialized feed formulations developed specifically for Blue Pearl shrimp include ingredients sourced from around the world, with each component selected for its contribution to flavor, texture, or nutritional profile that enhances the final product. Some feed ingredients are processed using techniques developed specifically for this operation, while others are sourced from suppliers who meet quality standards that exceed those required for human food production. The harvesting process for Blue Pearl shrimp requires workers who have been trained to recognize subtle indicators of optimal maturity that are invisible to untrained observers, with selection criteria that take into account not only size and appearance but also behavioral patterns and other characteristics that indicate shrimp at the peak of their eating quality. This selection process results in harvest rates that are much lower than those of commercial operations, but ensures that only the finest specimens reach restaurant kitchens. Individual shrimp selected for harvest undergo immediate processing that begins within minutes of capture, with each step designed to preserve the cellular integrity and biochemical characteristics that determine eating quality. The processing facility operates according to protocols that have been developed through years of experimentation and refinement, with procedures that optimize every aspect of handling from initial capture through final packaging. Quality control during processing involves multiple inspection stages where trained evaluators examine each shrimp for characteristics that determine its suitability for different restaurant clients, with some specimens designated for specific chefs who have particular preferences for size, appearance, or other characteristics. This level of customization requires detailed knowledge of individual chef preferences and the ability to match specific shrimp to specific culinary applications. The packaging technology used for Blue Pearl shrimp represents cutting-edge developments in food preservation, with each container designed to maintain perfect conditions during transportation while providing protection from physical damage, temperature variations, and atmospheric changes that might affect product quality. The development of this packaging system required collaboration with aerospace engineers who adapted life support technologies originally designed for space exploration. Transportation logistics for Blue Pearl shrimp involve coordination with multiple airlines, shipping companies, and ground transportation providers who have been selected based on their ability to maintain the exacting standards required for premium seafood transport. Backup systems and alternative routing options ensure that shipments can be delivered on schedule regardless of weather delays, equipment failures, or other factors that might disrupt normal transportation networks. The delivery schedule for Blue Pearl Shrimp operates according to a precision timeline that coordinates production, processing, transportation, and restaurant delivery to ensure that chefs receive their ingredients at exactly the right time for optimal preparation and service. This coordination requires constant communication between all parties involved in the supply chain, with real-time monitoring systems that track every shipment from harvest through final delivery. Restaurant relationships developed by Blue Pearl involve understanding not only the culinary requirements of individual chefs but also their operational schedules, seasonal menu changes, and special event planning that affects their ingredient needs. Account managers work closely with each restaurant to anticipate requirements and coordinate deliveries that support their culinary goals while maintaining the consistent quality standards that have made Blue Pearl the preferred supplier for Japan's most demanding restaurants. The economic model that supports Blue Pearl shrimp production demonstrates how ultra-premium food products can justify extraordinary production costs through pricing that reflects true value rather than simple market competition, with restaurants and their customers willing to pay premium prices for ingredients that cannot be replicated through conventional production methods or sourced from alternative suppliers anywhere in the world. The customer base for Blue Pearl shrimp represents the pinnacle of culinary achievement, with Michelin-starred restaurants that have built their reputations on serving only the finest ingredients available and whose customers expect perfection in every aspect of their dining experience. These restaurants understand that the cost of premium ingredients represents an investment in maintaining their culinary reputation and justifies pricing that allows them to continue sourcing the world's finest products. Market positioning for Blue Pearl shrimp focuses on exclusivity and perfection rather than volume or competitive pricing, with the operation deliberately limiting production to maintain quality standards and preserve the exclusivity that allows them to command premium prices from restaurants that value rarity and perfection over cost considerations. This strategy has created a waiting list of restaurants seeking to become Blue Pearl customers, ensuring stable demand for the operation's entire production capacity. The training requirements for Blue Pearl staff extend beyond technical skills to include understanding the cultural and culinary significance of their product in Japanese fine dining, with workers educated about the role their shrimp play in creating exceptional dining experiences for customers who may spend hundreds of dollars for meals that showcase these premium ingredients. This cultural education helps staff understand why perfection is essential and motivates them to maintain the exacting standards required throughout the operation. Quality certification for Blue Pearl shrimp involves multiple independent inspections and assessments that verify not only food safety compliance but also the premium characteristics that justify the operation's pricing and reputation, with certifications from marine biology institutes, culinary organizations, and sustainability groups that provide third-party validation of the operation's claims about product quality and environmental responsibility. The sustainability program implemented by Blue Pearl goes beyond regulatory compliance to include active participation in marine conservation, research support for sustainable aquaculture development, and environmental monitoring that ensures the operation's positive impact on local marine ecosystems. This commitment to sustainability reflects both ethical responsibility and practical recognition that long-term success requires maintaining the pristine conditions that make premium shrimp production possible. Innovation continues to drive improvements in Blue Pearl operations, with ongoing research into breeding techniques, production methods, and quality enhancement that maintain the operation's technological leadership while preserving the artisanal characteristics that distinguish their products from mass-produced alternatives. These innovations often involve collaboration with research institutions and technology companies that provide expertise in areas ranging from genetics to engineering. The global impact of Blue Pearl shrimp extends beyond direct economic effects to include influence on aquaculture practices worldwide, with techniques and standards developed for this operation being adapted for other premium seafood production, while raising awareness about the potential for sustainable aquaculture to produce truly exceptional food products that justify premium pricing through superior quality rather than marketing manipulation. Career opportunities within the Blue Pearl organization attract marine biologists, aquaculture specialists, and food industry professionals who want to work at the highest levels of their fields. with positions that offer opportunities to develop expertise in cutting-edge production techniques while contributing to an operation that sets global standards for premium seafood production and sustainable aquaculture practices. The future expansion plans for Blue Pearl Shrimp involve carefully managed growth that maintains quality standards while meeting increasing demand from additional Michelin-starred restaurants throughout Asia and potentially expanding to serve premium restaurants in other global markets where appreciation for ultra-premium ingredients justifies the investment required to maintain Blue Pearl's exacting standards throughout extended supply chains. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories about the world's most exclusive food operations, where dedication to perfection creates products that define the highest levels of culinary achievement. Hit that notification bell and join our community of viewers who appreciate the extraordinary efforts required to produce truly exceptional ingredients for the world's finest restaurants. Technology integration throughout Blue Pearl operations continues to evolve with advances in monitoring systems, automation, and data analysis that enhance quality control while preserving the hands-on techniques that ensure each shrimp meets the operation's legendary standards, demonstrating how traditional craftsmanship and modern technology can work together to create products that represent the absolute pinnacle of their category. The legacy of Blue Pearl Shrimp lies not only in the exceptional products they deliver monthly to Japan's most prestigious restaurants, but also in their demonstration that sustainable aquaculture can produce ingredients worthy of the world's most demanding chefs while maintaining environmental responsibility and supporting communities that depend on marine resources for their economic survival and cultural identity. Staff retention at Blue Pearl reflects the operation's commitment to creating careers rather than simply providing jobs, with advancement opportunities, continuing education, and participation in research activities that allow workers to develop expertise while contributing to innovations that advance the entire field of premium aquaculture and sustainable food production. The monthly delivery of 2 million Blue Pearl shrimp to Japanese Michelin-starred restaurants represents more than a business transaction. It symbolizes the connection between sustainable marine stewardship, scientific innovation, culinary artistry, and the pursuit of perfection that defines the highest levels of human achievement in food production and presentation, creating experiences that justify the extraordinary efforts required to bring these living jewels from pristine lagoons to the plates of the world's most appreciative diners.